Welcome to Third Angle, where you find us racing to the podium with solar power. I'm your host, Paul Hames from industrial software company PTC. In this podcast, we share the moments where digital transforms physical and meet the brilliant minds behind some of the most innovative products around the world, each powered by PTC technology. If you're a regular listener to this podcast, you'll know that I'm a big motor racing fan. But one race I've yet to have the privilege of seeing is the World Solar Challenge, first held in 1987 when it was won by the Sun Racer from General Motors. The current champions of that race are the Innoptus Solar Team, founded 20 years ago by a team of engineering students from Leuven University. They set out to build the very first Belgian solar car, the Umicar 1, and took on the challenge of a 3,021-kilometre endurance race through the Australian outback. Today, and 10 solar cars later, they are sponsored by PTC partner Innoptus, who are part of the 4iTego group, and are at the top of their game, having won the last 2 World Challenges. Teamwork, collaboration, and some very bright minds are key to their success, helping them come up with some innovative design and engineering features like the rotating fin that harnesses the power of the wind to help push the car along. We sent our producer, Wederik De Backer, to the team headquarters in Leuven, Belgium, to meet head of engineering Jonas and mechanical engineer Jasper, 2 students who are part of the current team. They talk about the challenge involved with building and racing a solar car, what motivates them, and why they think their highly efficient solar-powered motor should get Elon Musk's attention.
So I'm Jonas, I'm the head of mechanics from the Innoptus Solar Team, and I'm also a student studying industrial engineering as well. So last year, around March, I applied to become a member of the Solar Team. Yeah, it's just an opportunity that you can get to work with other 12 members that are highly motivated also, and just the opportunity we got to work on a car ourselves, and I'm very happy to be here right now. So as you can see, it's quite a long car. It's like 5 meters long. Quite small as well, only having 3 wheels. So today we are in our workshop from the Innoptus Solar Team. So it's in the center of Leuven, and yeah, here we work on the car, we build things, we assemble it, and everything is also stored here. We also have a clean room to work on more exotic things that can't be damaged, and yeah, it's just an amazing place.
Hello, I'm Jasper, I'm 22 years old and I'm a mechanical engineer at the Innoptus Solar Team. In 2019 I started my studying career in Leuven, and there was a big screen at the start of my career where the World Solar Challenge was on a live feed from the team, and yeah, it blew my mind how it worked, and it became a goal to be part of the team. And yeah, that was my main purpose during my studies, to study hard to be part of the team. It brings so much joy in doing it, and so much experience, and yeah, just the learning curve in the Solar Team is amazing. I've learned so much more than I've learned over my studies the past 4 years. And bringing everything that you studied into practice is something that you don't always get in studies. You get labs, but this is the real stuff and this is the real world. And being able to do that here is so great. In 2004, there was a documentary on national television about the Solar Challenge in Australia. And there were some students from the campus, Group T here in Leuven, who thought, yes, we want to do that as well. So they started to assemble a team to ask for permission from the university. So there it started. And over the years, every 2 years there is a new car built. And in the beginning, it's quite a challenge to even finish a solar challenge. Yeah, the car wasn't reliable enough. So after a few years, we started building on a more reliable car. And then we saw, if you look at our achievements, at our positions, at where we finish races, we started climbing in the ranks. We became fifth, we became third, we became second. And then in 2019, we became first for the first time. And now we are try to be unbeaten. As a team, we mostly participate in two types of races. The main one where we built the car is the World Solar Challenge in Australia, and that's a race where we drive as fast as possible, 3,021 kilometers. We start at 8 o'clock in the morning and we drive till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And at 5 o'clock we stop and we camp at the side of the road where the car has stopped. So we do it as fast as possible. This year we did it in 4 days and 2 hours. And then we have South Africa. It's an 8-day long race. And each day you can see it as an stage race, actually. So in the end, it's not the person who crossed the finish line first, but the person who did the most kilometers in those 8 days.
Okay, so welcome to our workplace in the center of Leuven. So we're going to take you on a little bit of a tour. So first of all, when you enter, you got quite a long hallway where we can park our cars and our trailer. So during working times, they are just standing here, but when we go to events, we take them out. Like now, there's a lot of room because we are having an event later today.
On the right, there is also what we call the dust cave. It's where we do all our things that produce a lot of chemical dust, like sawing or cutting carbon fiber. So it's an area where you don't go in without protection due to health issues, and that's why there is a dedicated room for it.
Also, you can see we have some fridges laying around. Yeah, it's always why do a solar team have 3 fridges standing there? That's quite a low temperature. That's to store our carbon fiber. So we are using pre-preg carbon fiber to build our solar car, and to make sure that it doesn't go bad, we need to store it at a very low temperature. So as you can see, they are just rolls upon rolls with carbon fiber in them. And then we cut those parts out to specific shapes, and then we make it into a mold, cure it in an oven, and then you get finished parts out of it. Cut all against the, because it's very cold. It's like minus 30 degrees. So when you want to start working, you first need to take it out, let it rest a little bit so you can handle it, because otherwise your hands, you can lose some fingers, I would say. So if you go a little bit further, I think it's the most beautiful view of our working place. It's actually completely open. We've got some office space to the right side, and then our cars in the middle. At this moment, there's only one car, our 9th solar car here, because our tent is still coming back from our race. And I think we can go to that car, because it's the best piece of the whole workplace, I would say. Without it, we wouldn't be here.
It's quite a challenge to get in. Now the car is open, so the possibility to get in the car is much bigger. But when the solar panel is closed during a race, there is only a narrow gap to get into the car. About will it be 30 centimeters, where you have to push your body through. Pilots jump out of the car in less than 15 seconds. That's a safety requirement from the race organization. But yeah, I think every pilot is also capable of going into the car in less than 15 seconds and drive away.
So before you can get inside of the car, there are quite a few things you need to do. You need to take everything out of your pockets, remove your watch or any other things you have on you, because they can damage the solar cells or the car. Another thing is you need to remove your normal shoes during the race. Sometimes we wear racing shoes and those we can wear, but I don't have them here. So I'm just in my socks. And then to get inside of the car, it's quite a maneuver. First and foremost, you need to tilt the steering wheel up so you get a little bit more room. And then to get inside, you take the space that protects your head. You shimmy yourself as low as possible to get the center of gravity as low as possible. Put the steering wheel down. Take on your seatbelt and then you can drive. So to become a driver, there are quite a few challenges. First and foremost, you need to fit inside of the car. That's challenge 1. Challenge 2 is you need to weigh less than 65 kilos. So getting below that are for some people impossible and for some it's still a challenge. A driver license is necessary and then quite a lot of motivation is required. Having good driving skills, being sportive, having a good condition, because driving a car for 4 hours in Australia and in South Africa for only 2 hours, it's still quite difficult. It's quite hot, so you need to be prepared for those situations as well. So even our pilots have to train for that. And one amazing way we do that is we go to a sauna and we set up a simulator there, drive in the sauna, in the simulator. Normally if you go to a sauna, you sit in there for like 15 minutes or so. We are driving inside the sauna for like a few hours to simulate race conditions. It's quite an experience.
Yeah, so when we are moving more to the back, there is the end of the car. There is one more wheel. Inside there is a motor. The motor is made by ourselves and has an efficiency higher than 98%, which we are doing much better than the motors of Elon Musk. We're still waiting on an invitation of him, but it's not coming. And there is our secret weapon, the weapon that was introduced in 2022 in South Africa. It's what we call the fin, and the fin creates a sailing effect when put out of the car, a sailing effect of the wind, where we get an extra push for the wind. So the fin is now collapsing the car, but when with the push of the button, it comes out of the car. And so it's the function of the fin can be compared with the sail of a sailboat, but adds also an extra amount of stability. It's still a static fin, so the fin cannot rotate, but in 2023 we introduced a rotating fin, so we can optimize the angle of the fin to the angle of the wind where it's coming from. And with that we have won the Innovation Award at the Bridgestone World Solar Challenge in 2023, and that's something that our team strives to win that Innovation Award every year. I think we have won it now 4 times or 3 times. To the end of the car there is also a license plate. The license plate is necessary because we drive on public roads during our race, and in that license plate there is also a camera, and that's because we don't have side mirrors to look behind us, but we look behind us with a camera. The side mirrors are we don't have them due to the high amount of drag it will introduce. And actually, a fun fact: we always say that the amount of drag that our car produces is equal to the amount of drag that the side mirror of a normal car introduces. The car weighs with battery and without the driver 170 kilograms. So a gust of wind can take the car off the road, and that sometimes happens during the race. Fortunately, this didn't happen with us in 2023. But we had a spin in 2019 where there was luckily a professional race driver in our car driving at that moment. The car was picked up by what we call a wheelie wheelie. It's a small tornado that is very local. Yeah, the car spun for 2 times and luckily landed back on his tires, and we could still drive, but that could happen during the race.
I'm Xavier Wederik. I'm the CEO of the 4iTego group, which is the group on top of Innoptus and Infinite. Infinite gave the name to the new car, and Innoptus is the main sponsor. The car is important, first of all, because we are in a complete energy transition, and we definitely need to make sure that innovation is driving our future. But on the other hand, what is important to me is that we support students, which will be the entrepreneurs of the future. Let's say we are baptizing them as the entrepreneurs of the future. What is also important, the way how we are doing knowledge transfer from team to team, for instance, is really special because every 12 months a lot of knowledge needs to be transferred. This is something that in a company typically is not every 12 months. So we need to be more efficient in that way also, the solar team. So, and we can bring a kind of stability inside because we are a long-term partner. So we have the knowledge from year over year over year. But the way how they handle as a student team the knowledge transfer, I can say that a lot of companies could learn a lot how to transfer knowledge inside a company. If we want to grow our business, we continuously need new people in the company. And there are a lot of people in our company with 10, 15, 20 years of experience. But these younger people are also bringing a new spirit into the company.
So we are a user case for companies. We try to test new things like solar panels that are not on the market yet. But we see as a team that those technologies, after we test them, got implemented in the market. So our solar cells that we have used 5 years ago are now the solar cells on your roof. And as well with our motor that is so efficient, we think that these types of motors will be mass produced in the future in 5 years.
I think one of the lessons you can take from it is that working together is very important. And when you design, listen to people that has done it before you. Because sometimes you have ideas, but they have done or had the same idea maybe before you. And they can tell you if it's still a good idea or you should change something. Because sometimes in your mind, one thing seems very good, but maybe you need to look in another direction. So getting feedback from them is like the most important thing, I think, from all our 20 years of building solar car.
Try to dream big. Don't be afraid to try to achieve something big. Elon Musk call us...
That was Jonas and Jasper from the Innoptus Solar Team. Looking towards next season and aiming for more success, the team are giving the car an innovation facelift with technical optimizations using PTC's Creo Plus, the SaaS-based version of Creo, PTC's 3D CAD solution. Time to meet our expert, Brian Thompson, who heads up PTC's CAD division. Brian, we've spoken about Creo before, but can you give our listeners a high-level overview of what Creo Plus offers and how the Innoptus Solar Racing team will be able to benefit from it?
The great thing about Creo Plus, or the first great thing about Creo Plus that this team will notice, is the administrative burden is almost completely eliminated. So all you need is valid credentials into PTC's Atlas platform and an entitlement for Creo Plus assigned to you, and you are good to go. It's a matter of just logging into Atlas and saying, yes, I'd like to run Creo, and you're running Creo 5 minutes later. It really is fantastic. And so the first thing that they will notice is their ability to bring new members onto the team is going to be really, really simplified. It's going to be so easy for them to get new users up and running because we administer everything from PTC's cloud platform. There are no more license files to manage. No more worrying about installation. We deploy the technology to the student's machine automatically directly from the cloud. So really, really fantastic improvement in license administration. But, let's face it, the real challenge with the Innoptus Solar Team is the fact that this is a highly optimized, highly engineered vehicle that is literally world-class in terms of its performance. And that takes very, very tight collaboration amongst various experts on the team that have specialties like mechanical design folks, maybe computational fluid dynamics folks, and so forth. And this is where the second significant benefit of Creo Plus comes into play. We now have a much more dynamic collaboration environment for design engineers that are working on the same assembly, like, say, an entire solar car assembly. The working methods with Creo Plus allow for an entire team to work on the same design all at the same time, to see one another's updates dynamically as those updates are made, and to make sure, in fact, that no one is working on the same data at the same time, but to also allow them to collaborate very, very dynamically, much more dynamically than they would if they were manually checking information in and out of Windchill, which is effective. But, we find that with students that grew up with technology, they have a predisposition to want to work highly dynamically, highly interactively. And in fact, that's exactly the way Creo Plus was built. And so this highly dynamic, highly interactive environment that we have with our collaboration environment in Creo Plus, I think is going to really serve the Innoptus team really well and make them even more effective than they obviously already are.
Huge thanks to Jonas and Jasper for showing us around the Innoptus Solar Team garage in Leuven. Please rate, review, and subscribe to our bi-weekly Third Angle episodes wherever you listen to your podcasts. And follow PTC on LinkedIn and X for future episodes. This is an 1860 production for PTC. Executive producer is Jackie Cook. Recording by Wederik De Backer. Sound design and editing by Clarissa Maycock. And music by Rowan Bishop.